All right. Okay. So do I have to do a preamble? Welcome to this session. So let's see, there are two people in the waiting
Oh,
room.
it's just like read
Oh, the
notes and
lead,
things like that.
the otter. Okay. All right, let me close that.
I
Okay.
can't hear you, Julica.
She's
I saw her
muted.
mouth moving.
Yeah. You're muted. We really can't hear you. Okay.
Maybe that's intentional.
Do you want to go out and come back in so we can hear you? Okay. We'll wait for you.
But you're muted, so that would make
Yeah,
sense.
it looked like she was unable to mute. Randa, where's your purple?
No purple now. I gotta put
No.
it in. I need time. I need some me time.
I don't think I've ever seen you without a color in your hair.
I just had a cut yesterday. In fact, I was with Kathy Foxhoven.
Oh.
We always go to lunch after because we go to the same person. And
Oh, that's nice.
Linda,
Do
you
you
make me
go
nervous
to,
that you're driving and while we're doing this.
yeah, me
well,
too.
I'm almost home.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll get home by the time Julika joins.
I just wanted to make sure that I was on. Uh, but yeah, I'm only about 4 blocks from my house.
So your
Okay.
car could drive itself there.
Yeah, I know, except I don't have a self-driving car.
All right. Julika's back. Can we hear you now?
I don't know. Can you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
We
I'm
can.
down one window too, and unfortunately, the one with the camera where this is displaying is the one that's down. So I will follow along as best as I can.
Oh, so
Well,
you
we can
can't see
see you.
anything?
I have one window, and the window that has the camera is the one that isn't working right now.
I think you just mean that you're going to be looking away from us, but you
That's
can
right.
see what's going on.
That's
I'm looking
fine.
over here, not here. Yes.
Okay. All
I have
right.
a feeling that
Got
she's
it.
going to be sharing the screen anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. You don't want to look at my bad hair day. I just got back from a hike. It's hot.
So, Sandy, how hot is it?
Right now it's 95.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
Oh,
I
Phoenix,
travel
great.
to Phoenix every month for 4 years, and there was no good day as far as I was concerned.
Well, the traffic is just horrendous. It's
Yeah.
so spread out. And I was picking somebody up from the airport early on, and it's supposed to be a 40-minute drive. It took me 2 hours.
Oh my
Because there
God.
were three accidents along the way, and it was at rush hour, but I was not really expecting that.
Yeah.
So I told her when she left, because she was leaving at rush hour as well, I said, "You have to take an Uber. I'm really sorry, but I'm not doing that again."
Yeah. I
All right.
know.
So here we go. So I'm going to go on the front end to start with.
How do you get
And
that
just,
fun thing for Google? Google.
huh?
How'd you get that pretty green thing for Google?
Oh, that's just Google's thing for today because it's St. Patty's
Oh,
Day.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. Okay, so I just want to mention a couple things. We still have these menus here. I discovered yesterday or Sunday that for the mobile, and this only matters if you're going to be working on the menus, the mobile menu only allows one menu, not two. And so I think it's been combined, but I haven't confirmed. Melissa was working on it yesterday. And there was a lot of white space in here on the mobile. And there was some setting that she had to change. So once I get that, I document that somewhere. But everything else is pretty much the same. The one complaint that I've had already, oh, we put board to board up here so that it doesn't take big space down here and it's, right where people can see it. I have had one question about the search bar being so far down here. And I thought, oh, that's no problem. I'll just move it up. But can't really, I don't know that I want it above our header here. So not sure what I'm going to do about that yet. I don't know. We used to have one up here. May see about that. But anyways, that's still an open issue that somebody has raised. The
So
other
what,
thing is that, and just encourage you guys when you use logos to use the real logo, which has a black words. We made a California logo several years ago because they were not making them. And so I made one and it had a red logo because they hadn't produced the branch logos yet. And so I copied it after the previous
You?
version and changed the colors. But the real version has black on it. So when you see that, if you could swap it out, that would be great. And this is it's on all documents and everything. So just keep that in mind. It's not a big deal, but it is not our official logo.
So where do we get the real logo then? Where would be the best place to grab it?
It's on the national site.
Oh, okay.
And
It's on the next.
it's probably under business, under California business logos. I haven't looked there in a while. We can look there in a minute.
Hey, Sandy,
Yeah.
did we ever have the little round uh, search thing on the top of the website? I don't remember we ever had that.
I'm not sure. I may be confusing calendar with that. I thought we had one up here, but I couldn't figure out how to myself put that up there. So I'm going to ask Melissa if there's a way to do that. Unless you guys have some other suggestions, but you have to really scroll down to find the search. And I do think that that's probably would be helpful to have it up higher.
Mhm.
So I noticed that the difference is the board to board and the California compass are going to always be up near the top now.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's a good idea.
I do too. There's no
Good.
reason for it to take
And then
up
the
space.
activities that are kind of going on are going to be down a little bit farther.
Yeah, so this part is the same as it was before in that we have 2 on the top and 3 on the bottom.
Okay.
They're constructed different, and we'll go through that. They're constructed different, but they're there in a
They're no
similar
longer
way.
called widgets, right?
There are widgets, but we're not using widgets. We're using a different form layout.
Okay.
And we still have our social media icons down here. And I put in this is Blue Sky, I think. And I put in WhatsApp, not that we have them, but people can share through those channels. So those are available, and they're available on most pages as well.
Oh, okay.
Some other things we had to change are the size of the images. I'll go through that in a minute. It's completely different on the back end. It's much more like stackable on the back end in terms of how to all of the options you have to adjust things. Sorry, my laptop is kind of my brand new, just out of the box laptop is giving me some problems. All right. The one thing that I noticed a lot of really out-of-date pages when I was going through, and I know that the project earlier, Michelle tried to adjust that, and oh my God, the world tried to adjust for that, but there's still lots of things that are out of date. Sorry, guys. It's blanking for you too, right?
No,
No,
well, we still see the home page.
Okay, so for me, it keeps going black and then back. So
no.
anyways, here's a good example, and I'm going to suggest that we get rid of this. So we have projects and programs, and all it is Tech Trek, which we already have a whole section for, and Work Smart. And I think there's probably a better place for that. I don't think it deserves to be on the top there. So I'm not sure where to put that yet, but I'm going to suggest that in part because if we want to put a search bar up there, we may need some real estate up there. Let's see what else. So other than that,
I just have a question about that. Isn't there some conversation of bringing GovTrack back? That's what I was reading.
there is some discussion about that. I think it will take them a year to get it ready.
Okay.
I don't think we'll
Never
see it
mind.
in this calendar year.
Fine.
Yeah. And in that case, it probably makes sense to put GovTruck down here in a more prominent spot because
Okay.
it is an external program like TechTruck is.
Okay.
So, and we could probably, these three could probably get consolidated into something else if we needed more real estate down here. All right. So on the back end, log in the same way. Has anybody tried to log in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Has
it
anybody tried
worked.
to log in and been unable to log in? No. Okay. So this is all very similar to what it was before. This events goes to the new calendar, Linda, and it looks to me, other than the display, it looks pretty much exactly the same. Um, so you have a little bit different information here. Before you had when it was published and when the event was. This now has a start and an end date, but you still have the beginning. One thing that we discovered when looking at this, and I'd encourage you guys to think about this when you're using an old post and updating it, is to update the update date, because we
Oh,
had some
okay.
posts that would say, September 2026, published in March of 2022. And that just looks a little silly. And it made a little bit of challenge for trying to migrate things over because the question was, which date do we use? Do we use the published date or the real date? But this one looks very similar to the other one that we had. They're just things are in a different place. So the event details are down here. And I think you can probably, I know you can, you could move these around if you wanted to on yours to say, oh, I always use the event details. So let me put them at the top. And so you can just grab and move the section that you're working on. And of course, that applies to the whole user ID. So if somebody is sharing or something, it would change it for everybody, but everybody has their own login. Start, end, times, days, recurrence. You can do every month, but then exclude. So every month but June, you can do that. And Linda, if you could test and see if the venue was working, they had to work on the connection to our calendar.
Oh,
Excuse me,
okay.
not to our calendar, to our map, so that would be
Right,
working.
because the being able to put the coordinates or have the map show up
Yes. Yep.
correctly. Okay.
It wasn't working on the old calendar before they put this new plugin in, and I didn't do anything on that because I knew they were putting a new one in, and I have to admit I haven't tested that. So if you could test that, it has
I will, yeah.
categories
Would
just
you
like the
like
other.
me to go back? I can try it on some that are on there that have like place dates, place.
Yeah, and there are only 23 that we didn't bring over history, so it's only moving forward. So there are not very many calendar items.
Oh, okay. Do I need to go back in and add all the things for the leadership team and stuff?
I don't think you should, because that was a
Okay.
criteria, but again, that would be a good thing to test and just make sure. What is
Okay.
going on with my screen? Okay. So that is the that's events. Posts are the same. Posts have categories like they did before. CVCRM is still the same when we're implementing a member module. That hasn't started yet. That will change what we do, and I'm going to wait and talk about that until we do it. Media is the same. Pages is the same. Linda, I'm trying not to use Stackable because I'd like to get rid of the plugin because this core Cadence theme has accordions in it. And so those work just fine. And I'd like to get rid of the whole plugin because it makes it lighter. And then if we want you know how to make it and they all look the same. So I'm not using
Right.
this anymore. I haven't figured out and I haven't asked them if there's a way to see where Stackable is used. I've just tried to go through the posts. Okay, I'm gonna let you in the other way.
Okay.
No changes to table press.
Okay, I'm gonna get
Okay.
out of it. Let's see.
All right. And these things are all the same down here. So Cadence is the theme that we're using. And I'm probably the only one who has all of these things because if you make a change here, you can change everything on the site. So that's a limited option.
Good.
I know. I want to make a mistake. I'm going to see if I take this by and plug that, if that makes a difference. All right. So let's look at the site. All right. So let's look at the home page. So as in everything we do, there are multiple ways to skin the cat. And the one that we use for the home page, well, there's a page, so we can do edit page, but some of it is under customize. And you'll see there are widgets, but we're not using widgets on this page. Here's all the rest of it is the same, but there are posts and pages layout. And I would like to suggest that people not change this. If you feel like it needs changing, let me know, because this is also a global thing. So if you are trying to change this page layout and you change this page, it will change all of the pages on the site. Sometimes we want that, but sometimes you just want to affect the page that you're working on. And that would be to use the edit page piece. And the edit page piece, just to remind you, is here. So we're going to edit this page and I'm going to show you how different it looks from a construction standpoint. So these things are very similar. Stackable will go away once I can confirm that we've gotten rid of all of the accordions that are using it. And there's probably some in Tech Trek that I haven't gotten to yet. Cadence is the new theme block. I'm still working on the color palette. There are more colors than we need in here. And for consistency, I'd like to keep to our color palette, which is primarily this one, but this is the old one. No, there's no green in that, I don't think. So I can't tell what color that is. But mostly you're going to be working over here. And I'm going to go into this. So this is new for people who have not used Stackable before. This is the area where you get a list of references for in here. So instead of using widgets on all posts, we're using rows. And rows have sections. And then sections can have things in them. So this is this row layout. This is this first section, this whole thing here. But if we go down here, this, and you can see when you go in here, it goes to this section. And this section has a couple of different components to it. And so there's a wide row here, but then down here, this section has columns. So it's a really kind of different concept. We used to use columns before, but now we're going to use sections with columns embedded in them. And when you are going to add something, let me just go down here and add. I should probably create a fake one. I just won't save this. Sorry, there's lots of handles to scroll down on. So if I go down here,
Is this already set up to work on mobile and stuff like that? So it's designed to work on all across all ways to display?
yes, but it has the same characteristics that the old one did, that if you do a row of pictures and then a row of text and then a row of content, it goes picture, 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 header, 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 content, content, content. But these things here are all in one section. And these will display, and you can look at it.
Total display with the picture above the each.
Exactly. Exactly.
But you have to design it that way.
Yes, and these rows work that way.
Okay.
The way that we have it set up now, there are ways to make it go column, 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 column. But the way that the defaults are set up here it'll be okay. And I would encourage you when you first start to copy one from one post to another and then change it just so it helps you get going.
So is the row like the block, and then with the block you can add image and text within that particular block?
Yeah, let me get back to desktop. So this block has just text in it right now.
Right.
But this one, so this is two columns here. Let me see. I can do.
And
and apologize.
symbol now?
Pardon me?
Is that the column symbol, the little box with the 0 or C in it?
That's a section.
Oh, that's a section. Okay.
Yeah. And so, and I apologize that, I've only been doing this a couple of weeks. So sometimes it takes me a little bit of time to find exactly what I want to change.
Well, you know a lot more than I do, so.
So in the section, so these are the changes. So you can make the text go different directions and you can align them in different ways. So you can left, center, right, full. And the
Okay.
same thing with vertical alignment. So it can be at the top or the middle or the bottom. So these control this block here. And then you can change the gaps. And I haven't done a whole lot with adjusting these. My first goal was just to make it look kind of like what it was before, and then start playing with it and say, oh, if we adjust this, I really like that better. And then text alignment is just like what we're saying here. The one kind of cool thing that surprised me because I wasn't told about it is that you can use an overlay link, which takes your whole section and makes it one link. So before, I used to have to link the picture and then link the article below. But now, if you do overlay, and this is one thing to think about if things aren't working the way that you think they should, there's an overlay link at the section level that, oh, I guess I didn't do that on this one. I'll find one and show you. Because I kept doing the link here. I copied over a public policy post to start with, and I put in all the URLs and everything, and every time I would go test it, it would come back to public policy. And she had linked it at a higher level. And so once you link here, please note if a link is added, nothing else inside of the section will be selectable. So it is the big mama in that, essentially in that room. Let's see. So this row layout, trying to find, so this is layout that are even. Okay, they're equal. If I wanted to do this, it would make the right one skinnier and the left one fatter and vice versa.
Right.
Or you can make it this way where they collapse into rows. I haven't played with this yet. I don't know exactly when I would suggest using that. And then there are, let's see, I haven't played with or adjusted the dividers. This would be changing. Sometimes you can't really tell until you go out. I'm not going to save this. You can't tell until you save it. So the keys on this are you're going to use rows and you're going to use sections, and then you're going to put your content in below. The buttons are all set up to be square. They can be rounded, but I figured since we're changing it, that it would be good to make it a little bit look more modern. And then the save process is the same, and you can go out and view the page just like you could before. So I'm not going to save this one. I'm going to go back to the site.
So this process works whether you're in a page or a post. It's the same.
For the most part, yeah. Yeah, let me go to a post. Let me go to this one. Because it's got a lot of, sorry, there's jets going over.
Don't hear anything.
Okay, so I'm going to edit this post. All right. So featured image, like we've had before. All the published dates are over here. And here's the slug, which is how you can get to it if you needed to put that link someplace else. The author. And we don't have any discussion. I haven't looked at whether we want to do that or not. And you can see this one's been revised 36 times. I'm going to open this up here and you'll see now this is one that came over and I didn't fix it completely because it's going to go away, right? I mean, it should go away. And lobby days is going to be over and we're not going to be making a lot of changes to it. So I'm going to show you a couple of other posts where if you look at them in the back end, they look really messy. And I didn't have time to fix, 400 posts and pages. So if they look okay on the front and they work, I left them. If they need to be changed, then they'll need to be reworked. So this one is just the 2 paragraphs up here. This is the title, paragraph. And then I put in the accordion. And the accordion works very similar. Sorry, we have another jet going over. The accordion works very similar to the other one, Linda. And I just copied an accordion from one page to another. And if I want to add a new accordion, a lot of times I just duplicate it.
Right. I think that's what I did
Yeah.
because of the spacing.
This one doesn't have, this one is so much better than stackable, I
Okay.
think. It's not as particular. So I haven't had a lot of issues like we've had before. I haven't done things like you can select a different icon. I haven't played with these things at all. So, you can put an icon. So we can get fancier, which was more difficult on stackable, I think, than on here.
Right.
And then you can decide like if you wanted an icon. Oops. Oh,
The
hang
one I
on.
was thinking of that has a lot of accordions is the finance page.
And I haven't fixed that. I looked at it from the front end.
Yeah,
Okay, so you could do something like that. And I'm pretty sure you can upload. So those are things that we can do later to make it cool. My goal right now is just, can we get it all working and maybe get rid of some of the junk that's old that we don't need to be there.
okay. Yeah, I was, so you were able to move, are in the accordions, I see the bill packages is moved up to the top.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's where she wanted it.
okay.
And that's as easy as doing this. Well, you can do it either over here or you can do it over here.
Just moving it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's there then.
Super easy.
Yeah, she did a bunch of changes in the last few days.
Okay,
Um, so I did rebuild this one to some degree because it was really ugly. And the old accordions look pretty icky. I had a little bit of a hard time with this one because it was a table before. And so this one took me a little bit of time to redo.
so that was my other question. Are we getting rid of table press then?
No, table press is still there, but I couldn't figure out a way. I didn't put it in a table because before with the old site, you could make a table in a post that was a different kind of table than the table you use in table press.
Oh,
So this is kind of down and dirty, this one here. I don't use the design library. This is very much like what was in Stackable. I haven't played with that at all.
yeah.
These two design. This is Kadance one, and this is a Stackable one. And it gives you different suggestions for post layouts and stuff. And I haven't used this. I think we want to stay within our own theme and not, at this point, not branch out into other kinds of looks and feels.
Right, okay.
All right. So I have a list. I had a list. My laptop is so enjoyable. It keeps rebooting on its own. And it blanks out if I don't have it plugged in, even though it has 99%. There's something wrong with it. I had this open before. You're gonna open. I'm also outside. I don't know how good my signal is out here. Come on, baby. It's thinking. All right, so while we're waiting for it to open, we'll see if it opens. Each post has has been categorized in the past. And there was a default category called updates. And I'm gonna remove that. That used to go to a category called news. And that was on the top line. I don't know if you guys remember this on the very top line, but we were using it inconsistently. So sometimes were labeled as updates and sometimes they weren't. And it just basically it's a whole list of posts, and nobody was using it, and so took that out. But the posts themselves get categorized, and I would like to stop using updated updates.
AAUW California, how can I help you?
Go back here.
I
I don't know if that's going to open or not.
And unfortunately, I can't mute.
So you see how there's
Can you help me
categories
with that?
here. So if I were to edit, this is the board-to-board one.
Bye-bye.
This is a category called board-to-board. And the categories have, there are more ways to use categories in this theme than in other themes. So it's important that we categorize things. I made a new category called unattached, I think. Unattached. So if you can't find a category that it goes to, then put it on unattached. And I would probably check those out periodically to see if they're showing up. Most of the public policy, tech track, all of those guys use categories in order to display, and that part stays the same. But if we look at all of our categories,
So updates is still on there, but you don't want us to use that.
correct, because there are so many that are still under updates.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I don't, because then I don't know what'll happen to them. Whether they should be categorized as something else.
I see. If we eliminate updates, then yeah, okay. So
They're
every post or event should be categorized something?
yes, and the default when nobody could find something was to do updates. So there are 95, there were 100 and some. There are 95 that have updates in it, and I've moved 5 of them over to unattached. And some of the ones that are unattached, like the candidate bio. So if you think about the way the nominations and elections category is created, when you put in nominations and elections, then they show up in that category, and they are part of a sort of a sub post, right? They're part of the candidate post, and then it links to their individual bios, but they are not part of the nominations and elections. It's probably easier if I show that. Actually, it's actually down on the home page. Okay. So this one I had to rebuild too because it used the old stackables. But if you go read the candidate bios, it goes to a page or a post that has the bios on it. And then each of these go to an individual bio.
Right.
And see, this one is unattached right now. Because if I made it nominations and elections, it would go to go back to nominations and elections. It would be under here. This is nominations and elections.
Oh, so if you made it nomination elections category, it would open up to this page and not to your bio?
Well, it's still open up to the bio, but it would be listed under nominations and elections. So the category for nominations and elections, and there's probably, we can create a subcategory, but right now I'm just trying to get them out of updates. So these are nominations and elections. So you have this post is nominations and elections. This post is nominations and elections. So these are all of the posts that have been categorized not as nominations and elections. But when you categorize an individual person, then we show up in here, which I don't think we want to do. We want to drive people here so that they can see all of them.
Okay, so then you're thinking of, so we have to think of the bios as sort of a subset of the 2026, and we need to make it its own
Yes.
hatch so it pulls up without connecting it to something else.
Correct. And the way that we've done that before is this category is really not updates. It really should be unattached, or we should create a category called nominations and elections bios or something like that. So those are not problems that need to be solved now, but I'd like you guys to consider not using the category updates and use the category unattached. And I'll start picking some of these off and perhaps creating other categories, but they're so integral into how the site works and what different displays work that I just can't get rid of the category. So Randa, when you do Compass, California Compass is adequate. So, oops, I thought I did. Sorry, I thought I did quick update. I'm going to do quick edit, and I'm just going to take off the updates because it's already categorized as Compass.
Yeah, my experience was that it always put update. No, if you selected another category, it's like, so is it the same thing? Like if we created a new post, we have to go and unselect updates because it's already selected.
I think that may be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but a lot of these are just updates, right?
So what is true is that you want every post to have to have a category.
Yes, but if there is not a category that is obvious, you use unattached.
Right, because and I like to think of it, it's like what we were saying is that if it's a subset of a category, then it should be unattached.
Oh, just at this point, if you don't have a category and you would have left it as updates, just please choose unattached. And I'll try to figure out how to get rid of the automatic updates category. And I'm going to go through these and figure out where they are and figure out a better way to categorize them. So, and I guess the place to start would be if you have a category that you're already using, you don't have to double do it and say updates also. So like this one's got updates, this one's got updates, this one's got updates. And Michelle, you're probably right that there was some in the previous version, an automatic, that was the default category. I guess we could add one and see what it does.
Do you want me to work on going through and changing out the update?
I would, if you could take the updates out of those that already have a category,
Yeah, I can
that
do
would be good. All right, let's see
Because
what happens.
I can sort by category, I think.
Yes, you can. All right, so it is not defaulting anymore to any category.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that might have been hard coded by Birgit when she did it. So it's not doing that anymore. All right, as long as we're here, this works the same. You do a slash and then row. So I'm going to do a row layout and I'm going to select my layout and it can be just one row. And so I'm just going to do a one row. And then within that, the default that I'd like you to use is text. And I haven't figured out, there's probably a way to make this the default, but I haven't figured that out yet, is text advanced. And this is a Kadance block. This one is a stackable block, and I don't want that to be there. And I guess we could just delete the stackable and then look for 404 errors and figure out where they are. But that's a little bit of that's a little crass. So it starts with a header. And then just like the other ones, it goes to a regular paragraph block. The header, you can change the size just like before. You know, you can make it 1, 2, 3, or 4. You can also over here change the font size to different fonts. And the rule of thumb in design is that your headers should be the correct header. So if this is supposed to be a header 2, you know, it's second on the page, then you're supposed to use these to change the size so that if you were to look at an outline, it follows the outline down. We have had a tendency of picking the header size that we wanted versus what its function was, because it wasn't as easy to do this stuff in the previous version. And then if you wanted to do an accordion here, we want to do this accordion. Again, this is stackable. Pink is stackable, and just avoid that like the plague. Blue is the Kadance one that we want to use. And the default there has been set up for 2. Because mostly you're probably not going to do this if you just have 1. You're probably going to have at least 2. So the default has been set up for 2 panes. And then so you, just like the other one, you type your title here. And then below that, you can put your content. And you can do all sorts of things. Like you could be 4. You can even make another row within this. But I'm just going to do text. And just to keep your eye over here, we're in the block part of this, not in the post part. So these are blocks, and the post is the overall post, right? This is where your featured image is going to be. That's mainly the one we use in your categories. And let's just confirm it did not do updates. Yay, did not do updates. And I know, Linda, you do a good job of tagging things. So you can continue to do that. I do a really crappy job at that. And part of, I think we might be working with Dowager again next year. I'm hoping that we'll work with them on search engine optimization and tags and stuff like that, so that we can be more consistent and improve our search capabilities on the web.
So if I wanted to start a new row, at a new section, I'd click on the little plus button.
If you wanted to do, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to do a new row, you want to be at this level and say add after.
Oh, I see. So the plus button over there on the right is not to choose a new row.
You can either way, but if you could duplicate, like when I was doing public policy, they all kind of follow the same thing. So I would duplicate the section and then go and change the content. But yes, you could do the plus and then do row layout.
Okay.
And we could say, okay, we want a 50-50 row.
All right, because I noticed on a couple of the pages that you had you'd start a new header and a new text section, and so
Yeah, so I haven't figured out exactly when we should use row versus section. It's one of my open questions to them. They both seem to work the same way. So within a row, you could have multiple sections. what they when they moved over some of the more complicated pages, they did a lot of rows. And it probably gives you more fine tuning if you want to change that area than to
Right, because it's
have
more
it.
because you're working with like a single block.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. There are all kinds of stuff in here that we can do. Um, there's this style button here. Um, so you can change the background. Not suggesting we do this yet. You can change the background, you can change the color, you can put a background image in here. These are all things that we weren't able to do that I'm aware of in the old theme. Sorry, I'm outside and I'm out and my router is inside the concrete house. So I don't know if anybody's inside. I was trying not to bug everybody else. Let me,
Do we
I'm
have any
just,
issues with space in our media library, or does it automatically archive? Or
it, we, it doesn't there's no automatic anything anywhere. The media library is, if we need more space, we just tell Tadpole we need more space.
okay.
All right, I'm gonna try moving inside and see if I can get a better connection. We will be inside momentarily. And you can look at my chest as we go. Sorry. If you're wondering, this is my backyard right now.
Oh, nice.
Patient care. It is. And I can't get a signal because it's all concrete and the router's in here. So I'll work in here and try not to be too loud. It's also much cooler in here. Okay. Let's see if this works any better. All right, so let's select an image here and I would encourage you to create a post that is a draft that you could play with and just try these things out versus trying them in production. Or if you have a post that you're working on that you think needs to be changed, there is no copy post function in this theme. And so I've asked them to take a look at that and they're going to find a widget for us that will do that. I don't use it that often, but sometimes it's handy to be able to change that theme. Okay, well, I guess that didn't work. Let's see. I am connected. Sort of. Okay. Might take it a minute to pick up the signal in here. If that doesn't work, I'll hook it to my cell phone.
I'm trying to think of other questions that I have about the categories or other things that
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard until you're actually trying to do something. And I realize that. So I think it's going to be a back and forth to just try things and maybe we can work on some of them together and see how to approach it. Okay, this is just not working. Let me see if
So
I,
you did mention that some of the images, like featured images and stuff, are going to be different sizes. Is that?
oh yeah, let me talk about that. Let me see. Let me try my hotspot and see if that works better. It's not working very well right now. see. Well, this is not very helpful, is it?
I'm gonna look, maybe, is the site down maybe? I'm gonna check.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not getting this. I think the site might be down.
So there is a tool that I used before, tells you.
Is X site down?
Mhm. I'm logging into the staging area now to see if the staging area is down.
Of course, they're working on it the day you're trying to show us up.
I know. And it's hard to show if it's not.
Yeah, it's not working for me. The website,
Okay.
the main site.
Okay.
I
Well, let
really
me.
appreciate that it looks a lot like the other site because it doesn't feel quite so daunting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, so a couple of other things. Remember to do open in a new tab when you're creating a connection between a post. Um, you
Oh,
want to do open in a new tab consistently. We talked about overlay links, events stay the same.
I'm still not sure I understand overlay links. I
Yeah,
might,
I'm sure you don't because I didn't explain it very well and can't get there now.
but
So
the overlay links, so you have like you were talking about board to board, and you have links in the board to board post.
no, so think of it in the past. If we wanted on our main page, you wanted to have a picture and some text, and you wanted the person to be able to click on either of them to go there, as opposed to having the picture be dead or the text be dead. Um,
Oh,
so I used to have to put a link in the picture and a link in the text in the post itself. And now in this scenario, you can do, say, overlay, anything that's in that essentially container will go to the same place. So whether it's a picture or the content, whenever they click on it, it's going to go the same place.
oh, okay. So like on the home page, so if they click on the featured image of lobby days or they click on the thing,
Ex
it would go to it would open the post for lobby day.
exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. A
That
couple of
makes
other,
sense. Okay, now I understand.
yeah. Um, I wanted to show issues we care about needs to be rebuilt, and I wanted to show you what it looks like on the backside. Title IX has a lot of posts that don't have any images on them at all. And I checked the old site before we went live, and they didn't have images there. So if you don't put a featured image on a post, and the post is using categories, so on Title IX, any post that is tagged, categorized as Title IX, will show up on that section in the category of Title IX. And they don't have images. And there were so many of them, and they're all Title IX. And I I couldn't find a lot of good Title IX images, so those are still like that, but they were that way before.
So
I want to show you.
those should be they should be categorized as unattached.
No, they should be categorized as Title IX, but they need a
Featured images.
featured image on them.
Okay.
Let me see if this is Melissa. Excuse me. Nope. Another one, major achievements for women in the United States needs an image. Oh, I wish I could show this. Maybe I can see here. Okay, so this hasn't been refreshed, but you can still see. Before we used to say Sandy Gabe and then September 25th,
The site's back up
2006.
for me, FYI.
Okay, thank you. So I removed the author. I don't think it's material to our users whether I posted or Linda posted or Michelle posted or, that's inconsequential
Right.
in terms of who posted it. We can see who posted it. So that's still in the background, but nobody outside of our group really cares about that. They just want the content. But what we used to, the way it was configured before was it would be the original post date. So think about some of the Tech Truck stuff that's been around forever. So it was, first published in 2023. If you update the date on the post, it will now say updated on this date. So for people who are looking at content and wondering if it's fresh or not, you have a better sense of the freshness. Because we did have some that were current date on the content here, but it was 2 or 3 years out of date from when it was first created, because we have reused it and reused it and reused it. So that's a change. I'm also debating on these two things. I think this is more than is necessary. So this is the category, and this is the category in the post. And I think they're redundant, but I haven't changed that yet because that's the way it used to be. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, I like the breadcrumb look, because
Mhm.
it's intuitive, whereas just having that post that category name, it isn't intuitive if the breadcrumb wasn't there, that's
Yeah.
to me.
Okay. Anybody else?
Those are called breadcrumbs?
This is the breadcrumbs, how you crawl to get there. So we went to home and then we went to nominations and elections and then 2026 candidates.
Yeah, I like the breadcrumbs too because you can go back, like I can just click on home and, so I can use that feature.
Yeah, or you're further down or whatever, and you want to
Right.
go back up a category.
Yeah. Like
Whereas,
we do with Google, Google Docs, that same kind of idea.
Okay. I don't know if it's up for me or since I changed to my cell phone, yeah, I thought it was a problem with let me go back to my other connection.
Why don't you disconnect and reconnect?
Because I'll lose you.
Oh, that's true.
it's I think it might be down again. It
Okay.
it worked. I refreshed some pages and now it's not. Yeah. In fact, I got a couple of pages loading in the background. I could see it behind my screen, and so
Okay.
I don't know whether they're working on it or what.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point. I'm not sure if I have the ability here to do that, but in the post itself, we do. So I'll probably do that based on what you guys are saying. Let's see what else I can talk about while they work on it.
What about the featured image size? Is that
Yeah,
something you could discuss?
I
Oh,
really
okay.
need to show you that one because there are a bunch of different options. Um, okay, so multiple documents with the same name. So I know that when documents come in, sometimes it's hard to know whether there's a previous document that it's replacing, and sometimes it's not. Like in lobby days, they have whole sets from the last couple of years. So you have um, uh, they're kind of rule set for last year, which is different than this year. So in that case, it makes sense to have multiple documents. But in this case, the deposit form for Tech Trek should be one document. So I cleaned up these two and I removed these two and I just left the one. And people were having a hard time. I know Michelle and Julica and Mary have been in on this. If somebody Googles or searches for branch deposit form, they will get all three of these because they're branch deposit form. Even though it's not embedded in a post, it's still a document that's searchable. So, so I took these out and confirmed that the document that was there was the latest, the one from 12 of 25. This one was 11 of 25, and this was 24. So this one probably should have been replaced, edited and upload the new document and then use that. In the situation where, so there are two ways now to tell if that document was updated. One is if it's the only document in a post and the post has been updated, then you can intuit it's the new. But in Tech Trek, because they have so many things, you can update the publish date so that looks more current when you hover over it and it says, the AAUW California document library, blah, 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 blah. But then you have to go to the page where it's posted and refresh it and update there. Shh. Shh. Let's see, is it coming back up?
I'm in the site right now.
Aha! Okay.
Okay, so Sandy, with that, let's say there's a document, another Tech Trek document. All I'd have to do is find that document from before and edit it with the new document.
Correct.
And I
Correct.
don't have to worry about the date. It's whatever. It's just gonna go and replace that document in the link wherever it is.
Well, yeah, so let's just walk through one of them. It's always a yes, but,
Oh, yeah.
if they're going to keep the site up. Come on.
Wow.
Is it down again?
Well, it seems to be, but yeah, I was able to log in.
Yeah.
It's just like it's up for like 5 seconds and down for 30.
Melissa, it does seem to be down. Kevin is taking a look. Staging site is up, so it's not the server. Okay, well, we could look at the staging. Well, I couldn't get into the staging site either. Let's see if we can get in. So right now, staging and live are very, very close. So the way the two environments work are we made all of the changes in the staging site. Yeah, I don't see how we can get into staging either. Let me just let her know. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, sorry.
You were talking about documents.
Oh,
So when you
yeah.
are looking for documents, so Julica gets a new document, or we're searching for it first to see if there is a document there by that name.
Yeah.
If you get multiples, are you wanting us to delete the old ones? If they're separate documents?
Maybe.
So
So
so-
in most cases, somebody will say, please replace this document with this document.
right.
Right. So that's a clue right there. The document is already on the site. They usually give you the name and they usually tell you where it is. So that's clue number one. If there is already a document out there, you want to edit it and then do a new upload. And if you do just those two steps and save it, nothing changes on the site. Nothing else has to be changed on the site. So Amy just sent me a whole bunch of lobby day stuff. She sent it several days ago. And then last few days I've got, well, this is an updated this, and this is an updated bill thing, and this is an updated that. So it's the same, it's the same kind of instance, right? There, it's the same project and the same time frame. So I just opened the document, uploaded a new version, and then said publish, and I'm done.
Mhm.
Because the URL that's associated with that document stays the same. What changes the URL is if, in a case like Tech Trek, where if you wanted it to be, to reference that it was a 2025 document versus a 2024 document, if you republish it, it does change the URL because the string has the month and the year that it was published.
Mhm.
So in that case, the URL or the permalink has changed and you need to go to the page and update the link on that document.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And when I talked to Kevin about this when we were the vendor, he said, oh, well, the media library, you can update in the media library now, which you didn't used to be able to do. You had to post a new document. You couldn't update it, but you can do that now. And I said, great. That's why I told you guys we're going to move everything to the media library or all new stuff. But then when I looked at it, it has the date in it as well. So I reported that and they're trying to take a look at it. So for now, we'll keep the documents in the document library and the images in the media library.
So basically, if the permalink is remaining the same, then you just need to do an upload of the document. But if the
Yeah.
permalink is changing based on a year or something like that, you have to do something different.
You have to change the perma, you have to republish it, publish it with a current date,
Right.
and then update the URL on that page or post so
But
that
then
it reflects a new.
my question is, do you create a new document for the new year, or do you still want
No,
to use the
just
same?
use just use the same one. Just change. You can change the title and you can change the publish date. That's better because in this situation we had three and they were all searchable. And so somebody was going in through the Tech Track branch coordinator forms and documents page, and somebody else was just searching for branch deposit form. And it brought up multiples of the branch deposit form because,
Okay.
excuse me, because they were there. Even though a document is not attached to a post, if it's published and you know the name of it, you can search for it. Or
So
a
it
part of the
sounds like
name of it.
the best rule of thumb is just to replace the document with the new document.
Correct.
Unless there's a really good reason that you want to publish it. And end up changing that date.
Yes. So Lobby Days is a perfect example of that situation, Julika. So Lobby Days left up their 2025 Lobby Days packet, essentially.
Mhm.
I'm going to ask Melissa, or not Melissa, Amy, if we can get rid of that. And if we do, then I will go get rid of all of those documents. Because those documents, if you look for what's a common name, bill updates or whatever, you're going to find multiples of them.
Mhm.
And we don't really want that to happen. Sometimes we've put the year in the title and sometimes we haven't. So they wouldn't necessarily know unless they opened the document what was going on. So Melissa says Kevin thinks it may be a flood of bot visits. He's on it and hopefully we'll figure out a resolution shortly. So that's really unfortunate because it's really hard to show you something that you can't necessarily visualize because it's new. They're both down. If staging is down, the live site's going to be down too. Let's see if there's anything that I can glean from this one without refreshing it. So I'll just review. This is a category, and you can tell because it says edit category at the top. Categories have two components. They can have a blurb up here, and fund is a really good example of a category that has a description at the top. And then what it displays below that are any posts that have been categorized as nominations and elections. That's the category. So any post that was nominations and elections. So to go back to the board candidates, if my bio was categorized as nominations and elections, it's going to go in here. And so we didn't do that. That's why they're unattached. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think I have any other windows open. So here you see that it's unattached. And we can just stop using unattached. And if Linda, you go through and take out the ones that say updates, then I'll just start working on these and seeing where they should go. So in this case, nominations and elections could have a subcategory, much like public policy does. Public policy's got, I don't know, 10 or 11 subcategories that go with they've got a whole grid of categorized posts. So they go to each of those. When you pick your category, if you pick both public, shh, shh, shh. Hey, shh, quiet. If you pick the higher, shh, Sydney, hey, shh. If you pick the higher level and the lower level, it's going to appear in both places. Just like you can put a post in multiple different categories. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think we're going to have to reschedule you guys. Because well, maybe it's up. Maybe it's up. All right. So this is not a good one for the higher level links, but want to show Linda and Michelle about how this page works. Okay, so these are all rows, right? And we probably should do all rows and then sections within rows. But when we get down here, how do you get the right ones to appear? Shh. It's not opening the thing. Hang on. I think it's that one.
Oh, that's a new one. Post grid carousel.
This is a post grid carousel.
Oh, okay.
And that is the number of posts, any number of posts that you want on here that cycles through. So if I made this to be 3, there would be 3 posts here. Can I just, I'm going to put you guys on mute for just a second. There's some stuff going on here that I need to, where's my mute?
You're muted. We can't hear you.
All right, sorry about that.
Okay. So you chose 2 so that they would be bigger
Yes, they're bigger.
for the
Yep.
first line? Okay.
Yep. So the number of posts here dictate how wide they are. And then there are other things about whether you want to do a full page or, within the margins kind of stuff, but this is just the two posts right here. And when you want to choose, sorry, there's stuff going on here. It's hard for me to concentrate. Where is it? Okay. So under this one here, when we used to do widgets here and we would do
Right, left, yeah,
right, left, but then we would do a category, right? And you'd say, I want the first one in the category or the second one in the category or the third one in the category.
right.
That would display. There is a possibility of doing that, but the way this has been set up right now is to select the posts individually. Okay.
Oh,
So when I do that and go to select posts, it shows all of the posts that are available and you click them on or off. And you can search by a category. Now this category thing only seems to load a certain number. It may work differently for you. They think it's my laptop because it works for them. But if you know that nominations and elections, if you start typing, it will select. And then you can say filter posts. And so we could say that you want, one of these to be up there. Like, let's say we wanted the 2026 candidates up there. And then if you say view selected, it'll show you the posts that are here. Now, because we have a 2 wide, but we've chosen 3, 2 are going to be on one line and there's going to be 1 below it. And it's going to look horrible. So I'm going to take out, let's just take one out and say select. And then you can see that it updated those 2.
and how did it decide which order? Is it the one that was at the top is on the left and
Good question. My guess is that's the case because you can up and down it,
because you can up and down it, so then that determines, okay,
the order. So now candidates is first and public education is second.
okay.
Okay. And now down here we have 3 and it works the same way. So until I
Oh, you
figure out,
chose it's a new row layout with a new section so that it's separate from the one above, so you can change it independently. Each post grid, you can change independently.
right. And this one is 3 wide and the one up here is only 2 wide. So that's part of why.
Okay. So
Okay.
the idea is the one at the first set is for the most recent.
Not necessarily. They're the eye attention getters.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
I mean, it's just like before there were 2 on top and 3 on the bottom. It's the same thing.
okay, so
We would
if
move it
I'm the
around.
one doing that, how would I know, how do you want us to know which section to put it in the 3 or the 2? Is that do you want us to verify with you where this one should go, or what do you?
I think how you were doing it before, you guys were independent in that. You said, oh, this is a new post. It's probably more current. It should go on the top. And you used to go into the widget and just change the category and then change the category down below. It's the same idea here.
Yeah, it could be whichever one you're replacing. You could just, go into that same location and replace it. But I mean, Sandy has a good point. The top 2 are larger and closer to the top, so they're seen first. But you're probably, they're probably full, right? So you're going to replace one of them, and so you start there, right? So if you really wanted it to be on the top, but that top one's still relevant, you'd have to move it down to the bottom, take one of the bottom ones and move it all around. But
Yep,
yeah, so
exactly.
some kind of combination of that.
And I haven't decided whether it's going to be easier. You can do a query and say, by other characteristics, I haven't gotten the category to work well yet. And it was set up to do them individually, so I just left it like that for now. But usually you know what you want on the front, right? It's either an upcoming event or somebody said, please put this on the home page, or it's relevant because of activity. So doing posts by individual is actually pretty easy. Highlights here, you can filter it however by category, or you can search for it, and then you just highlight it. And
Well, I
then
was just curious because I know Amy tends to send a lot of stuff and say she wants it on the home page. So I guess my default will be if it seems like the two that are already at the top or even the three are still relevant, where do we move something that's a public policy?
Well, if you have a question, you can always reach out, to me and say, do what you're going to do and then say, hey, they want it on the front page, you know. So like create the post and do all of that, and you can shoot the question over if you really like, I don't know what to take off. It's okay to ask.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to take off, what to
yeah,
replace.
yeah. So I wanted to show you this. We have the two, but I picked three posts. So look what it does. It keeps it in two columns, but it puts the third one down here. So if you make a mistake and put three up there instead of down here, this is what it's going to look like. Let me just do a preview.
This is where I was curious about that other layout that you had that puts them longwise.
The mobile one.
The one that,
Well,
the one that,
no, she's talking about, hang on, I've got to,
yeah, I'm talking about that other. But it would be, I don't know if it would work in the post and grid. Post grid.
I think it's over here. So this is one column. Where am I? This is one column. I'll have to go find that, Linda. I don't remember where I saw it.
I was just curious about that because on the home page, you could have, you want to highlight three things happening at once, that there's new candidates, there's the upcoming um, of annual event, and then there could be an important public policy thing that you could have a situation where you'd want to have three highlighted.
Well, I think that this takes up a lot of, this takes up a lot of space.
Right.
And if you did them one on top of each other, they're probably going to be wider. We'd have to change the layout so that the image went to the left of the content. So if I would suggest at this point in time, we've been doing that layout for 7 years, and we haven't ever had a situation where we couldn't fit everything that we wanted into the 5 things. I mean, sometimes we've added another row down here, but usually there are 2 kind of obvious things that should be at the top.
Okay.
So I would use this 5 layout. And then if you can't get them into 5, then let me know and we can add another row or, take a look at options.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was just thinking, I was thinking out loud.
Yeah, no, that's great. It also shows you're understanding the concept of how they work together.
Well, and having board to board in California Compass up there into, together,
Mhm.
that removes those two needing to be down below.
Exactly, exactly. Now, when we do these, I'm not going to save this because I totally messed it up. But these are the same way. Oh, cancel. Let's see. So this is also individual. And select post. This is board to board and compass. So this is a 2-row, oh, 2-column, 1-row layout. But board to board, what Randa's going to do is we have to figure out the timing on this, but essentially there'll be a April 2026 post to look for.
Mhm.
The timing is interesting. There were hundreds of board to board posts out there because we use them for 1 month. Then the board to board, it also goes into a table, and we don't need the post long term, right? People are going to go to the archive and look at it through the table. And so we ended up with a bunch of posts. I haven't decided yet whether I'll just go through, post the April one, and then after it gets put on the homepage, get rid of this post here, because we don't need it. Once it's been published and once it goes in the archive, we don't need this post anymore. But essentially, to get to this one, we're going to be looking for board to board April 2026, California Compass, April 2026.
But aren't I going to renew it or whatever with that on that post?
So if you change, I have to think through this. If you change the post to April, I don't know, I haven't confirmed that this sees this post as an individual that it can find, like at a higher level. It's not board to board, it's board to board March. So if you change it to board April, I don't know if it will pick it up here. We have to test that next month and see.
Okay.
Because one of the things that Rand and I talked about is taking that post, adjusting the post to say April, and then saving it. And then that would get rid of the background or the old post. But I don't know if this will automatically pick it up. I haven't been able to test that yet.
Wouldn't you be updating your publish date? Because isn't this picking it up by publish date?
No, you're actually picking the post you want.
I mean, but is it the list of options to pick by publish date?
Uh,
Isn't that why it's got the publish date on there?
um,
I think that's just for information.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I do think that it is I think that it is ordered by published date. Because if you look at these dates here, they're by published date.
So
But
if you're writing over the prior one and republishing it on a new date, it should pick it up, right?
well, you'll see it here. What I don't know is if on this post it's going to recognize that or not. Because you're changing something fundamental about the post itself.
Oh,
You picked the March post, and then the March post went away and it became the April post. I don't know if at a meta level it thinks that they're the same thing or not. And that's what we have to test.
Yeah, if there's like some GUID or some kind of real identifier, or if it's going by the title and other
Yeah,
metadata.
title and date. Yeah, yeah.
So with the board to board, each board to board is a new document because it's separately dated, just like with the newsletters for public policy.
Yep. I'm going to leave this one here.
And
Okay, so see all the board to boards.
there's not a way to. Okay, so we have to manually delete all those board to board posts.
Yes. Yes. I cleaned them up once and then I've cleaned them up a couple of times.
But don't they sit in the archive indefinitely?
So let's separate out documents from posts. So
Okay.
these documents
Okay.
are posted in a table
Right.
as
Okay.
the archive.
Yeah.
There's also a post that you just saw So these are documents. So this is the March board to board document. Okay. We had a post called different board to board March. That's the post. And that has a link in it to the document called March. See this here? This is the document. Okay, so they're two different things. We have a document with the name of March 2026, and we have a post with that name.
Sandy, I have a thought. You know, when you change the name of a post, it doesn't change the URL.
Well, it does if you update the publish date. It does.
The post name changes if you update the publish date?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because the post has the URL has the date in it.
That's
Sure, but does it pick up the new title?
Not automatically.
Right. Right.
So we could change, but the thing is, we change all this stuff back here. We're really talking about the front page. So if you're looking for an automatic way, the only way to do that is to make board to board, always board to board without any month on it, which
Yeah.
means that on the front page, you won't know what month it is until you click on it. You won't know that it's new.
I don't really think that seems like a big problem, really.
Okay, well,
Why not say board to board and then say read current edition and then click here to view the archives?
well, just from my perspective,
Uh-huh.
when I look at it and I don't know whether it's updated or not, that's a clue for me that
Because
we've
it
missed
doesn't
it.
get updated the same day that it goes out.
Yeah. So I think I appreciate all of you guys' problem solving. It's like one of the least big issues right now. Randa and I will work this out and then let you know after we
We have a
test
month
it.
for that one.
Yeah, yeah. So I did want to show you,
But I
can we
think
take
we have
like,
this issue too, right? Because the public policy newsletter is a similar situation.
Right.
but public policy doesn't go on the front page. Public policy goes in a table and gets posted in a post
I think
with a link.
public policy
Oh,
news should be on the front page. But
okay. Would you guys be willing to take like a 5-minute break?
yeah.
Okay. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna go use the restroom.
Oops. So Randa, you're still there.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I think it's possible to use the same post and like we talked about before, change the name and change but if we change the slug, I'm pretty sure we have to repost it on the homepage. And my concern is if you do that, then it will go away. Like it'll be an error on the homepage because it's missing. So so we should, we can test that and see.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it one iota.
I'm glad you're not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it right now either.
What to worry about is the annual meeting up here.
Right. Julika's working.
Do you think
Linda,
the
it's not,
how you're going to talk about is going to be above my head? My son just told me my lunch is ready, and
you can go. You can go have your lunch.
but but I won't. I can wait if it's not going to be above my head.
That I can't predict, but I don't think we're going to be talking more about documents and stuff. So,
Okay,
and I'll let you know if there's anything that comes up that is key.
very relevant to me. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Have a good lunch.
You won't, however.
Okay.
So good.
Bye.
Bye, Rhonda.
See you.
All right. Looks like we have everybody back.
I'm gonna eat some crackers and salami because, well, while I listen.
Okay. Well, I can't see you anyways. All I can see is my screen. Let me tell Melissa that we're okay.
No, 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 no.
Come on. All right. Um, so as long as we're here, these work the same. This is a button. The buttons are square to start with. They can be changed. The button defaults to red, but you can change the color of the button. All the things that we used to be able to do, the fill, the size, all of those are still adjustable like they were before. Nothing different there. So that's these are the general button settings. And then if you go into the style, it defaults to this. And then if you look at this one, I think you can see the background color. So this one, style. The background color is turned off here because it's inherited. And it's inherited because all of the buttons are red. This one, you can tell I changed the color on this. Okay. And we're using, trying to use our standard colors. So this is our typical blue. And I'm not going to do this, but you can change what happens when you hover on it. Haven't played with that. That's a new feature. You can change the border radius. And again, icon settings. So you can put an icon in there. Again, haven't really played with this. And this is probably an ADA thing, title for screen readers. I haven't done any of that. These are all new features. And then advanced padding is how much space is around the words. And I haven't used the button roll. So block defaults, I would ask if you want to change a block default to talk to me about it. Because if you change the button here and change the block default, it's going to change it everywhere. for new ones, but not for old ones. As you see, it says it'll change the default style for this block type. It won't modify any blocks that have already been created. So that means that we'll have, different look and feel depending on whether it was done before or after you do that. So if you feel like that's necessary, like if you're doing something over and over again, let me know and we'll see if we can figure out a way to automate that. All right, we don't want to save this one, but I did want to go, let's see, I wanted to go to update issues we care about. I wanted to show you how ugly that looks, which I think is under public policy. Okay. So there are two things. You see how there's space between all of these? Because this one has been redone and it's a row with a row with three columns. And I guess this would be a good one to show you, Linda, where the default overlay is. Okay, so open up this. Look at the rows. I'm going to look at this row. Okay, so that row. So if I go to section down here, come on, let me grab it. Overlay link.
Mhm.
So this goes to public policy priorities. In the past, I've had to link it on the picture and on the article. And by doing it here, no matter where you click in there, because it's click entire link entire link entire section, anywhere you click on here is going to go to public policy priorities. So if you were working down here and you tried to change the link here, it's going to, you won't, anything below won't change. Like if I try to change the link down in this section, it won't change. Because the overlay link at the section level dictates everything below it. But let me show you issues we care about. Okay, this is kind of a mess, even though it doesn't look too bad here, right? But look, we've got three pictures that are all butt up against each other and three pictures that are the same way. And then these three look okay. But, it works. And each of these will go to the place that it's supposed to go to. It's a category called student debt. It's got the two posts in there that have been categorized as student debt. If I want to look at this page, this is where it gets really fun. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh,
It's all HTML.
why?
It's just ugly, ugly, ugly. So
Nothing wrong
you
with
can
code. Come on.
Well,
um,
why is it all in HTML?
because when it converted over, it just didn't come over right.
Oh,
So I've spent dozens of hours fixing these kinds of things on ones that didn't work. The ones that did work, I said, when we touch them, we'll fix them.
hmm.
So we don't have to fix this. I will fix this, but I wanted to show you guys it.
Hmm.
If you are going to update a post and it looks like this, you have two options. You can try to figure it out, or you can say, Sandy, this one looks like a mess. I want you to clean it. And I'm happy to do that. So if you go here, you'll see it's a custom HTML or an unsupported block. So what I would do in this case is I would add, I'm not going to do it now, but I'll get it started. I'm going to add before, and I'm going to make this a row. And that row is going to have three, let's see, is there three equal? And then it's going to have an image. And we're going to put image and we're going to do not the blue one, not the pink guys, the blue guys. I'm going to do
Oh.
that. And then you're going to select the image. And of course, I don't remember what it looked like. So I'm going to do review in a new tab just because I can't remember. And I would probably ordinarily have my two windows open and go back and forth between two screens. So I'm looking for this guy. I don't remember what that looks like. I'm going to edit this page in the old, the old version. And well, it actually tells me here. It's full size image. Okay, so it's a very descriptive name, 12.png. That's very helpful. And so I'm going to select the image and I'm going to say search for 12.png. It's here. I'm going to change the name of this. What was it called?
12.png.
Yeah, no, economic security. I'm going to change the title of it to economic security. So whoever wants to use it next could find it easier. It should be categorized as public policy. I don't know if it was. And then, oh, sorry, bad me. Oh, stop. I want all categories. I want this one. Okay, I'm gonna put it over here. Categories should be public policy. These are just helpful when we do things like this. If I could look at all the public policy images, that would make it easy, but we haven't been consistent. So
Okay,
there's the
that's
image.
good to do. Yeah.
And then I'm going to add below that. And I'm going to add the title, right? So it's going to be Advanced Tech H, and it's going to be Economic Security. And now this one, I'm going to go to the section and I'm going to do the overlay of where overlay link because I want anything that's here to go to economic security. So this is where you have to do a little bit of hunting and pecking to see. I believe it's a category. If I go and open this up, it is a category called economic security. So I want to reproduce that here. And oops, sorry, I'm just typing. Come on.
I think you're on the wrong link now. Box, I mean, section.
Thank you.
And there it is.
So, but these are posts. There's a post called economic security. There's a post with economic security in there. So that's not actually what I want. What I want is this. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it in here. Okay, issues we care about. That's a page. That's not right either. Where is it? Issues we care about. Oh, because I'm in a preview. Hang on, sorry. This is probably the hardest part is having 17 windows open and actually I went to the wrong place. We want economic security. If you go in here, you can highlight and paste, and then you want to accept it. So it's category. And then you want to go here and you want to say open in a new tab, although I did make these default to open in a new tab, but they don't default everywhere, but in this case it does. So now that if we look at it, so now it's got the right spacing and stuff.
Oh, I see. Okay. Because they're
See,
not
it's
supposed to be touching each other.
exactly, exactly. So I could do the next one here, and I'm going to do, I mean, I could copy this section down, but I'm just going to, play with it. I'm going to do select image and what is the image? I'm going to look at this guy. So you can go to the post to find the image if you can't figure it out. You can edit posts because these are old. This is probably a numbered one that we did through Canva. And this, if you do replace, I'm just showing you a lot of different ways to find what you're looking for. So this one is called, oops. Gosh, I hate when that happens. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to see if it's tagged. Category of public
Not to the
policy.
policy.
Yeah. All right, so that's in there now. And we do the same thing down here. We're going to add a text advance. It's going to come up as a header to start with. And it was called human trafficking.
Mhm. So you don't have to worry about it being a different size.
It should adjust it. Hang on. CK. Okay, I'm not sure why that came out smaller. That's a good observation. So now we want to go to the section and we want to do overlay link. And we're going to look for human trafficking and see if we can find the category. I give it like a 50-50 when I can find it versus having to. See. No, not gonna find it. All right. And do I know why? Not really. I'm gonna go to this category. I'm gonna copy the category. I'm gonna put the category in here. I'm gonna accept it. So it's going back to the page again. I did do Control C. There we go. And it's open in a new tab. So let's look at whether this looks right or not in terms of the. So this guy is shorter, so there can be a couple of reasons for that to happen. The image that we chose is a smaller image. But let's see. I'm not sure that I can fix this in front of you. This has got large size image.
It says fixed ratio, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we need to right below the image size. And because one
So
of these
here's,
square.
yeah, so these are what's been working is 2 to 1. Nope, not on this one. I'm not sure. Let's see what this one is. So see, because the image started out as different sizes, this is a 4 to 3. So let's see if that works over here, 4 to 3. So it looks like it's lining up. Let's take a look at that. So that lined up. So now if we look at this, although I think these are supposed to be centered. I have to go back and look at the other pages. I think these are supposed to be centered.
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes there. So remember, so it's opened in a new tab, which is good. I'm going to close this tab. So I can click here or here. That's what the overlay link does, here or here. As opposed to, I don't know how these are set. I had set them both up. But do you see how this one has got the finger, and then if you go away, it brings up the finger again? So these are two different, right now, they're two different elements that both have a link to them. Whereas this is one element that has a link to it.
Right. Okay, awesome.
And I'm going to change this to text setting. Where is center? Text alignment center. Text alignment. That seems like, to me, it seems like it should be a default. Okay. And then I'm going to do this last one since we're here already. So I'm going to do an image. I'm going to select the image. I don't remember which one it was. It's not that one. Reproductive health. And it's a category. Oh, what did the image look like?
It's a bunch of hands with the female symbol above it.
Okay. See if we can find that one easily. If not, so you can always just do this, or you can go look for it.
Out of the many thousands of images that we have.
Yes, so I don't want to do that. I'm going to edit this page. Oh, I can probably, so let's look at the old HTML way to do that, which is to find it down here. So here is reproductive health, and the image is 14 PNG. Again, a very helpful. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to put 14 PNG here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to change the title to reproductive health. I'm going to make it a public policy image. I'm going to select it. Okay. And I'm going to try this fixed ratio 4 to 3. That looks like it's going to work. And then I'm going to add in the text. It comes up as a header. Reproductive health. I want to make that centered. And then I want to go to the section, do the overlay on the section. Let's see if I can find it this time. kind of annoying. So here's the category. We're going to see if it comes over. It does, but it's coming over. I don't think that was the category. It did come over. It was just telling me where it's from. It's opening in a new tab. Okay, so now let's look and see how that looks. Okay, so we have our three. So that looks okay. And then I'm gonna, for this demo, I'm just gonna leave the top row, and get rid of this stuff here. So this, and so there are a couple ways to get rid of it. One is to go here and say delete block.
Yeah.
But what I want to do, what I don't want to do is delete too much. So I'm going to look at this before, because I don't want to have to rebuild the whole thing all right at this very moment. Okay. Okay, so I got rid of that one row. So
So you
So
have
now
to
I'm,
do that for all three. So each row has its own block. Yeah.
yes, each row has 3 sections. I'm going to save this now since I fixed the top one. So this row, so I would do another row, and then I would do the same thing for the next section, and I would do all 3 rows.
Okay. You want
Okay.
to assign that to me? I could do
Oh,
it.
sure.
Okay.
Yep. I don't think I have a ticket open.
I think
So
I could,
if you want to work on this one, that's great.
okay, I will. I think
Okay.
it'll be good to practice.
Yeah, it'll be good to practice also right after we do it.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, so let's talk about one more thing. So on the page, so this was published on, so the pages they don't really have a published date when you look at them. Let's go to one of these posts. Okay, and let's edit this one. So if we were, oh, that's a bad picture. Somebody stole this from Adobe. Can't do that. Do you see the background
Yep.
Adobe stock?
Yep.
Yep, that's illegal. So we need to change this picture.
Okay.
I mean, it's a
I'll look,
great picture, but
I'll look for
it's,
one in Pexels or Pixabay or something.
yeah,
Canva. Just
or
Canva.
just make it in Canva. Um, so what was I doing? Oh, let's edit post. Okay. So this is another one that is a mess, right? But I wanted to show you the publish date. So if we go publish here, you can pick now. And when you publish it now, it's going to, and you can adjust the date, but it'll change the date that it was published, and that's what will show on the updated date. The only time that that's going to be challenging is things like nominations and elections, where you really want to have some of the posts at the beginning. You know, even though they're old posts, you want to have them in the front, because you want them to be seen first, like the how-tos. So you can adjust the date, and it works just the same as it did before. The latest post is the first one. So you can tweak this if you want. I'm not going to change this date because it hasn't been updated since 2022. But if we make a change to this and we don't change the update date, it's going to look like it hasn't been updated since 2022.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to save this one. And I'm going to stop because I think I've given you enough to get going, and if I give you more, it'll get lost.
Okay. So I have, I'm going to go